Hi Jordan, how are you today?
I'm good, thank you. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you for coming in. How's your day been?
It's been good, yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. Nice and warm outside.
Yeah, it was hot today.
All right, so as we spoke about on the phone, today is basically about running through a few forms with you. The aim of the first form, it's an adult pre-screening system form, is basically to identify if there may be any risks with yourself that might impact your physical exercise or your ability to exercise. So really important just to get to know your history a little bit. Then what we'll do is we'll run through a bit of a needs analysis. So what you're into, what you're currently doing exercise-wise, what you'd like to be doing exercise-wise, what you've done in the past, and just get a bit more info on you so we know where we can move to from there. Does that sound good to you?
Sounds good.
All right, cool. This first form, I do need to get your consent because it is personal information. So are you happy for me to record this information?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. And that's not going to be shared with anybody and it gets stored securely, okay?
Yeah.
Excellent. So just to start off with, what was your full name?
Jordan Curtis.
Jordan Curtis. Beautiful. And your date of birth, Jordan?
23rd of the 8th, 93.
23rd of the 8th, 1993. Excellent. And do you identify, what gender do you identify? Male? Fantastic. Okay. So the first 6 questions on this form, simple yes or no answer.
Yep.
Okay. Has your medical practitioner ever told you that you have a heart condition or have you ever suffered a stroke?
No.
No? Excellent. Do you have ever experienced unexplained pains or discomfort in your chest at rest or during physical exercise or activity? No. Do you ever feel faint, dizzy, or lose your balance during exercise or physical activity? Do you have asthma at all?
No.
No. Okay. And diabetes? Any diabetes? Nope. Brilliant. And do you have any other conditions that may require any special consideration?
No, not really.
That's great. Okay, so they are the main clearance questions, which is fantastic. So you've answered no to all of those, so we can move on a little bit. So now we're going to talk a little bit about what sort of activity you're doing at the moment, okay? A bit later on, we'll talk about what your history is and things like that. So at the moment, are you doing any exercise during the week at all?
No, nothing, no like precise exercise, just what work.
Yeah. And you're pretty physically active with your job, are you?
Medium, some days are good, some days are bad.
Okay.
But no, nothing really.
Yep. And do you do a bit of walking around and things like that, or you're pretty...
Just walking around site, but not like exercise walking.
Okay, all good. So usually what we would recommend for somebody that's doing less than 150 minutes per week is to start at a light intensity with exercise. And this is just to keep you obviously safe and kind of monitor as things go. And then obviously building up from there, we can build up to moderate and vigorous as you progress through. So that is that first form. So if it's possible, I will get you to sign that if you're happy that you believe to the best of your knowledge that all the information you've supplied is correct today. Okay, brilliant. Just down the bottom there. Thank you, Jordan. Excellent. Okay. That is that bit done. So now we're moving on to find a bit more about you. Okay, so you've already given me your first name, last name, and date of birth.
Yeah.
Can I just get your contact phone number, please, Jordan?
0455 43
Yeah.
1010.
10, brilliant. Okay. Now, in the past, I know chatting to you, you have done quite a bit of exercise in the past.
Yep.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
I played rugby league from about 10 until 21.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Played a bit of Oz tag and gymming, usual gymming.
Yeah.
I used to do quite a lot of gymming when I was younger.
Yeah, and what sort of activities were you doing at the gym?
All just muscle related. A little bit of cardio on the bike or running, and then just weights for trying to look good, really.
Yeah, all good. So strength training was your main thing. And how many days a week do you reckon that you were doing that?
Generally about 3 consistently. Yeah. Sometimes I'd get a little bit more, but that was it.
Yeah, cool.
3.
And that was a manageable sort of thing for you? Yeah, and you got a buzz out of it? You enjoyed it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you've had your rugby league, your OzTag, you've been to the gym in the past, done weights training, and biking.
Yeah.
I think you mentioned to me that you did a bit of running in the past as well.
Yeah, later on I got into running
Okay.
a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, cool. And how many times a week were you doing that?
2 to 3.
Nice.
Yeah, like the peak, I'd end up trying to run a marathon, but obviously
Wow.
it hurt. But
Yeah.
all good now though, totally fine.
Okay, so you don't have any
No
injuries
issues,
or
no,
anything
no,
like that
good.
from it? Okay, cool. And when you were running, how long were you running for?
It'll be 1 to 2 hours.
Wow,
It used to
impressive.
be really good.
Yeah, cool. And is that something that you're kind of looking to get back into?
Yeah.
Or, yeah?
Yeah, a mixture of everything.
A mixture of everything?
Yeah.
And so if you could sort of suss out what you most enjoy with exercise, what would you say?
A balance of the gym and just feeling fit, I guess.
Yeah, of course. Specifically exercises. So you mentioned that you'd like to get back into the running again. Is that one
back
of your...
into running
Okay.
was enjoyable to like. I like the challenge.
Yeah, of course. So when you are running, would you mentioned 1 to 2 hours? Is that what your preferred session is? You like a long session with your running?
Yeah,
Yeah?
definitely
Okay.
more preferred.
Yeah. And how many runs would you ideally be wanting to get out on a week, realistically?
2 to 3.
Okay, nice.
Possibly one of them could be shorter, but
Yeah,
2 to 3.
yeah. Gotta keep it realistic, hey?
Yeah.
And with your strength training, you're looking to get back into that as well?
Yeah.
What sort of sessions do you like time-wise with your strength training?
I like to try and get it done in at least 45 minutes.
45 minutes,
As long as
yeah.
the gym's quiet enough.
Yeah, nice. And how many times would you ideally like to see yourself in the gym doing your strength training?
Probably 3 times as well.
Okay, so you've got 3 times a week with your strength training that you'd like to see yourself doing, and a couple of runs a week.
Yeah, if that's to do both at the same time, then yeah, definitely.
Yeah, nice.
That's
Okay,
more
cool.
realistic.
And do you enjoy exercising on your own, or like in a group, or do you like to have a gym buddy? What's your kind of thing?
I don't mind, to be honest. I can do all of it. I like my classes. Sometimes I find them a bit embarrassing, but I don't mind it.
Yeah. And what's your schedule like? Do you like to be able to go when you want, or are you kind of a bit more planned?
It's usually before or after work. I didn't really used to like before work, but I'm going to try and get more into that.
Okay, so mornings is a good time for you?
Yeah, we're going to try for mornings.
Okay, nice. Excellent. So that kind of segues into our next little part here, which is a bit around goal setting. So if we think sort of about your main goal at the moment, what would you say that what's brought you here? What's re-motivated you to start working out again?
I think it's just needing a bit more structure. I've not done anything for so long. I need to try and maybe put the money into really trying to get myself there.
Yeah, okay. And is there a particular goal you've got in mind, such as increasing your strength training or weight loss or...
Definitely weight loss.
Weight loss?
I've definitely got a bit too chubby at the minute.
Okay. And has that been one of your motivations to kick this off again? Okay. So if you're looking, and we'll go through and we'll take your measurements shortly, but if you're looking for a number, for example, have you got a number of kilos, for example, in mind that you would like to lose, so we can be really specific about it? Or
I'd like to lose about 20 kilos from where I am now.
okay,
Yeah.
cool. And so realistically, I think the guidelines are around 0.2 to 0.5 kilos a week. So if we're looking at about a 12-week sort of plan to start off with, what would you say a realistic amount of weight would be if we broke it down into smaller sections?
I don't know. That's why I've come to see you. A bit more realistic. I've set too
Of
high of a
course.
goal. What do you think for 12 weeks?
So for a 3-month period, and we never know what your body's going to do.
Yeah.
I mean, we want to keep it something manageable to keep you motivated. So something like 5 kilos, I think, is a really good way to start.
Yep.
And then that's really realistic. It'll keep you motivated. It's something that, with your history and with your with what you're planning to pick up, I think that's quite reasonable. How does that sound to you?
Yeah, I don't really know what's realistic, so that's why I've come to see you.
Okay, so with your SMART goals specifically, we can put on there lose 5 kilos of body fat and build strength. So that would be through your weight sessions over 12 weeks. How does that sound?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, cool. And now we need to be able to measure this. So what we're going to be completing, I chatted to you a little bit about that, is some fitness assessments at the end of this, okay? So that's our next step once we've finished all the documents. So we basically suss out where your cardio's at, where your endurance is at, where your strength is at, and where your mobility is at. And from there we get like a benchmark. And what we can do is then we can retest you in 3 months' time. Okay. We can always do one in between as well. And then what that will show you is it will show you and measure your improvements. Okay. So also with your running, another way to measure that could be through the length of the time. Have you got a smartwatch that you use? Yeah, cool. So that shows you the distance and your pace and everything like that. And can you download that at all?
Yeah, it goes onto my phone.
Excellent. So with your running, a really cool idea would be to track your runs and save those so you can let me know. And then we can just keep an eye on your pace, your duration of your runs. And from there, you'll also see that increase. So that's a really good way to measure it. Obviously, in regards to your strength, we'll see what you're pushing. And then as your strength improves, we raise the weights, and then we'll be able to measure that by the increase in weights. So this goal of improving your strength and losing 5 kilos in body fat, is that something that you feel is an achievable goal for you?
Yeah, that definitely sounds achievable to me. And
it's something that you've been able to achieve in the past, is that amount of exercise, so it's pretty reasonable. Okay, cool. And then it kind of ties in, but we go on to reality, realistic. Is your week looking like this is something that is actually realistic for you to be able to do, to incorporate 2 runs in a week as well as 3 weight sessions a week? Do you think that that's...
Yeah, I'd definitely say so.
Something that's realistic?
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. Great. And for you, 5 kilos does that feel like a realistic amount of weight?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I agree 100%. So we are going to do this over a 12-week period of time. We can check in obviously in our sessions weekly as well. A really good way, obviously, back to measurement with the weight loss. Obviously we'll use scales. So what I'd highly recommend is just to do that once a week. So because we meet in the mornings, we can do that as well first thing in the morning, because our weight does fluctuate throughout the day. And then instead of weighing ourselves every single day, if we've just got that weekly measure of that, it's kind of like a little bit more. Instead of every single day. Are you happy with that to measure the fat loss?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, cool. So we'll work with a 12-week program, track your weights that you're lifting, track your runs through your watch, and track your weight loss through scales. Okay, cool. All right. So with your pre-screening, you are not at high risk, so you are safe to commence physical exercise, which is awesome. Because you are 150 minutes and under of exercise currently per week, and I've got no doubt with your history you will be able to build that up really, really quickly. We will start you on lighter intensity exercises and build up from there. So also the next thing I just wanted to chat about there is, I can't see a reason to need a referral for you before you start exercising, because you are low risk. But if something did pop up, if there were some concerns or something like that, and I did need to reach out to an allied health professional, would you be happy for me to release any information I've gathered here today? Obviously with your consent, I'll let you know.
Yeah, that's fine.
So what we'll do is I'll just get you to sign the consent for referral if needed, and I would obviously communicate.
Sure.
Just if something pops up over the next
My doctor
week
knows plenty of
while.
stuff.
Excellent. So if you can just sign down there. Wonderful. Okay, cool. Now we go on to the fun stuff. So we get to check we'll start with your blood pressure. Have you had your blood pressure taken before?
I have, yeah.
Okay, cool. Are you okay if I go ahead and put the band around your arm?
Yeah, no issue.
So with the blood pressure, as you probably know, relax your arm, take a few deep breaths. We can always take the reading twice as well so that we get an accurate measure. All right. So we will pop this around your arm. Does it feel snug?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
all nice.
Okay, so if you just relax your arm nice and straight there, I'm going to push this button, you're going to feel a little bit of pressure, and then it will take the reading and it will take your heart rate, okay?
Mm.
Just let me know how you're feeling.
Oh, I like these machines. They feel good. Some good pressure for a small machine.
Yeah, no, they're good little things, aren't they? This one takes your resting pulse as well, which is brilliant. Or resting heart rate. That's how you...
Vegetables.
Okay, you're 122/67, which is a pretty good reading. We'll go through that on the data afterwards. So usually you're sort of sitting in a high normal. It's between 120 and 139, but at 122, you're just creeping into high normal for a normal.
Yeah.
But you're still good. But as you said, it's one of those things to check in with your GP and just track. I'm sure as you start with your physical activity as well, that you might see some changes in that. Your pulse is sitting at 69, so your resting heart rate is 69. So that is completely within the normal range as well, which is fantastic. Where are we? So anything between 60 and 100 for your pulse is in the normal range, so that's great to know. All right, Jordan, what I'll do now is I'll get you to come and stand against this wall, and I'm going to take your height. So have you got shoes on at the moment?
No, I don't.
No? Okay, brilliant. So if I can get you to stand against the wall with your heels right against the back and just stand nice and straight for me, I will take a measurement of your height. Do you know what your height is off the top of your head? We'll see if we...
175.
175. Okay, so heels are nicely against the wall. I'll just get you to look straight ahead at me. I'm going to get the highest point of your head.
Hold it in there. Okay.
Yep, good. Okay. 175 to the dot. You were 100% correct.
Oh, yeah.
I'll get you to come back over here again, Jordan. I'm just going to take your waist circumference as well. So this is just a way that they look to determine any risk of cardiovascular disease.
Yeah. This won't be a good one.
That's all right. All good. Are you okay if I touch you with this band? So if you can just stand there exactly like you are, arms slightly high. I'm just going to be getting the smallest part of your waist, which is just around the bottom of your ribs there.
Yep.
And just taking that measurement.
No worries.
For you, okay? Okay. All good. Sitting at 106. All right. And then what we will do is we will take your weight. So what we will do, if you just come around to the right here, your shoes are off, that's great. The scales are on the hard surface. I will get you to stand on those scales, spin them around towards yourself. Yep.
There we go. Oh, 108.7.
108.7.
That's good.
Fantastic.
Lost a bit of weight.
Wonderful. There you go. Okay. 8.7.
It's actually going down since the last time I tried that.
That's wonderful.
That's lovely.
There you go. You've already kicked off sparked off your journey, hey?
Yeah.
All right. So what I'll just do now is I'll just get a little bit of your info, as we spoke about before, the referrals, if there is a need in the future to refer you to an allied health professional. I'll just make sure I've got the right info for you. So what was your email address there, Jordan?
Jordan Curtis, number 1,
Yeah.
@mail.com.
Fantastic. And your address?
Unit 2,
Yep.
9 Darley Road, Randwick, 2031.
2031. Perfect. Okay. Okay. All right. So that is all of the formal stuff sorted. So I will quickly work out your BMI and then I will run through those results with you. Blood pressure, as I said, sitting just into the high normal range. Your heart rate is spot on, which is brilliant. 108.7 was your weight. So I'm just going to calculate the BMI now. Have you heard of
I have
body
heard of
mass
it.
index? So with this one, obviously we all have different body compositions. It basically takes our height and our weight and it puts us into a category.
Yep.
We can kind of take it with a bit of a grain of salt. It gives us a pinpoint, but if you have a larger body structure anyway and you've got a lot of muscle mass, sometimes it can come back with quite a high reading. So we just take it with a grain of salt, but it's one of those ones that we do need to record.
Yeah.
So at 175 centimeters tall, 108.7. Okay, and your age there, Jordan? It was
31.
Yep. Okay, 35.49. Okie dokie. So, with all your measurements, heart rate, blood pressure are great. Waist circumference. So, your waist circumference
Big.
was sitting a little bit higher. Okay. So at 106. So anything that is 94 centimeters or more it classes you at higher risk of cardiovascular disease. So just something to keep in mind, and as you're making these changes now as well. So what we can do, we'll repeat those measurements, and you will notice with the activity levels that will drop down, but just something to keep in mind. So your BMI as well is sitting at 35.49. So with your BMI, a normal range is 18.5 to 24.9.
Yep.
Okay, you're pretty solid. You got a lot of muscle on you. So do take that into consideration. The BMI reading for that is obesity 2.
Yeah.
Okay. However, taking in consideration all of these factors, no need to get too caught up on that, and that will start to drop as well. But you know, it's awesome that you're taking on this health journey now, because that will also reduce any health risks in the future. Activity level, we went over that. We'll keep it light to start off with, and move on from there. Have you got any other questions for me today?
No, I'm all good.
Okay. Cool. So based on what you've told me, it'd be really cool to, in the fitness assessments that we're going to be doing next, to test your endurance with your running. Okay. Yeah. So what we will looking to do is we'll do a running test. So we'll run a particular amount of kilometers. Okay. We'll keep the numbers small. We'll take your heart rate before, during, and after, so we can work out your VO2 max, and then that gives us a really good measure for you to increase. And then with your strength training, we'll get you down into the gym. We'll do some 5RM weight sessions, and we'll find out what your strength is like, to give us the baseline for that. I know running flexibility and mobility is super important, so we'll do a flexibility test just to see where that's at as well. And then with your endurance, we'll jump into a push-up test, I reckon, with you. So we can do max amount of push-ups that we can do in 60 seconds. We count that, measure that. And the cool thing about these tests is then when we repeat them, you can see your progress. Yeah. Sound good? And then from there, we can work out a little bit more of a plan around your strength training that you're going to be completing in the gym. Yeah. And any questions about the running, you sound like you've got that pretty down pat, but any questions, feel free to reach out. Yeah. Oh, okay, excellent. Well, thank you for your time today. And I will see you for our fitness assessments. I will shoot you an email with the details.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Jordan.